ATL. Through the highs and the heartbreaks, we still stand. Dirty birds forever. Let's get it. Year after year, we've been riding through the storm. Red and black in my veins, that loyalty was swung. We don't fold, we don't run, even when the pain hits. Cause every loss just reminds us what greatness is. We show up cold nights or the Georgia sun. Cause every Sunday we believe that our time gon' come. We ain't perfect, but we faithful and we never switch. We the city of the A, yeah, we built for this. We don't need pretty words, just heart on the field we deserve. Put the work in, earn that glory. Bring our city back to the story. We'll ride till the wheels fall off. We ain't never gonna break. Win or lose, we stand tall for the A. You can doubt us, talk loud, but we still hold steady. Cause we here and we faithful and we always ready. It's the dirty, prove the dirty. If you bout it, then prove the dirty. We'll believe when you fight for the city.
Good morning, ATL fans. Welcome. It's your host, T. Will, and my friend and colleague, she's 21 Carrie today.
No.
We don't have BPE Carrie with us. We have Miss 21 Carrie. Miss 21 Carrie, how are you this morning, my friend?
No, I'm doing good, T. Will. I just didn't change it, honestly. I'm just probably Carrie today, but I just
You
want
just
to say
Carrie today?
happy belated birthday to you, my friend, as well.
Well, thank you for that, Miss Carrie. I definitely appreciate that. Thank you. It was a very happy birthday, number 55 for me. So hey, glad to be here. And I had some tacos and a banana split, both of which I probably shouldn't have had, but they were delicious and really enjoyed it. But hey, man, let's get to these Falcons. So much going on with our beloved Atlanta Falcons that represent the A. Unfortunately, this past week, Carrie, same old song, it's the same old song, but a different meaning since you've been gone. Talk about the victories. We got Carlo in the chat. Carlo says, "What's up, party people? What to do, Carlo? How you doing, brother?
Hey,
Hopefully
Carlo.
all is well." Yeah, man. So Falcons lose a close one in the bins to the little brother Panthers. Can we call them little brothers anymore, Carrie? Or
Not right now. They've
are
beat
they
us the
are
last
they in
three
fact are
meetings.
you said what? I'm sorry.
No, I apologize. No, I said at this point, no. They've beat us the last three meetings.
Okay.
Just
So we
crazy
have to give
stuff.
them respect and say they are literally our rivals. They are no longer our little brothers. Is that what we're saying?
I mean, I'm not calling them a rival because only the Aints are a rival for me, but I mean, I'm just not gonna call them little brother because I mean, they've come in our house twice and beat us, and they embarrassed us in their own house. So yeah,
Yeah,
gotta give them their
that's true.
respect, honestly.
That's true. Carlos says, I've been arguing in Facebook groups recently relentlessly about these sap crying fans. We got John Tay Rozier 7709 this morning. Good morning, T. Will and Miss Carrie. Good morning,
Good morning.
Jonta. How are you? I think Jonta's in Nevada, right? I think he's in Nevada. How you doing, Jonta? Hopefully all is well, brother. Hopefully you are doing okay this morning. Tough loss, and not only that, but we have some injuries. Carrie Drake has a PCL injury. Obviously, we know about Penn being down, and it's like we are all holding our collective breaths because we still don't have any information on the ACL. Is it so? He's had two torn ACLs on his right knee. This one is partially torn on his left knee, and we are just waiting to hear from them. And I would just love to hear your thoughts, Miss Carrie, because wow, there's so much going on.
Mm.
Nathan Flo says good morning, checking right quick while I'm at work. Good morning, Nathan.
Thank
Nathan
you,
Floyd,
Nathan.
how you doing, brother? Miss Carrie, give me your thoughts. Injuries. I mean, we've got our starting quarterback, our stud receiver, both out. We have to go to New Orleans this week with our backup quarterback, Kirk Cousins, and essentially backup wide receivers, none of which who've been successful. I think like 80% of our offense from a receiver perspective has come from Drake this morning. Give me
Mm,
your thoughts as these Falcons head into New Orleans.
honestly, it's
You cut
that
out,
game.
Carrie.
Yeah,
You
can you
cut
hear
out
me?
for a sec.
Oh,
Yeah, we can
sorry.
hear you now. We didn't hear you.
Positive about the game. Um, we're opening as 1.5 underdogs. So we are the underdogs in this game. It is an away game, but we are playing with the backup quarterback who we paid $100 million. There's no reason we should be, you know, the underdogs against a Saints, the team that is rebuilding, who is not good. But unfortunately, um, somehow we're very close to them. Than closer to them than I would like, because we're
Hmm.
also 3-7 right now, and
Hmm.
we've lost 5 in a row. And like you said, we're missing our QB1 as well as our wide receiver one heading into this game. And yeah, it's unfortunate, but if we lose this game, we're going to be in last place in the division. So it's a very tough situation, honestly. Heading into New Orleans, it's hard to have any hope of a win.
Hmm.
Um, because, like you said, Drake has been pretty much our whole offense. None of the other receivers have stepped up at all. I mean, Drake has been carrying the offense on his back outside of Bijan in the first, what, like 4 games. So,
Hmm.
I mean, Bijan actually was even having a really great game this past game as well against the Panthers, despite bad run blocking. So, I don't know. It's very tough because I always want to win, but it's just, man, it's hate week, and it's like this injury information in regards to Drake with the PCL and Penix with the ACL is just glooming. I
Hmm.
can't even focus on hate week because I'm just thinking about their injuries and waiting for an update, because as of right now, Drake is, ruled out, but he's also week to week. We don't even know if he's going to be out further than just 1 week.
And week
A
to week
piece,
for these Falcons could
right,
IR, right? Like this
right,
is not the most forthcoming group of people
at
when it
all.
comes to injuries, right?
At all.
So
We just found out a week ago that, Mooney broke his collarbone. So,
yeah.
and at the time, a head coach was saying he was, day to day, and he was looking like he'd be coming back soon in regards to
Hmm.
training camp. So you never know, to your point. Um, but yeah, looking back on it, man, it really feels like, wow, the season. I mean, it's so doom and gloom, it feels like right now, but feels like the season was over now that I really think about it after that Carolina 30-0. I mean, it really does,
Yeah,
unfortunately for me.
we just didn't know it. We just
Once
didn't know
you see that,
it.
like,
Hmm.
this is either undisciplined, unprepared, um, up and down team that's just not ready to compete and win, consistently. Not consistent enough, unfortunately. But I will say, I don't know if it's poetic or a nightmare, but it's very weird to me how, last year, supposedly when Kirk got hurt, was away at the Aints, and now he's going to be starting, our starter again, officially, against the Aints
Yeah, I mean, I guess
away.
certain things are cyclical. We got Island Mike in the chat. Island Mike says, I told you the season was over.
Yep.
Carlos says, I feel like that was a business decision to salvage our players because what are they playing for if but to get hurt? Island Mike says, we have no QB or wide receivers. He says, hello, we suck. Aints beat Carolina in Carolina. And Carlo Wiggins says the Saints fans I know are saying as long as they beat us, they consider this season successful. Meanwhile, Atlanta fans are deflated. Losing to the Saints will be the icing on the cake. Yeah. So here's the thing, right? A couple of things I want to discuss this morning. I'm watching ESPN the other day, right? And Orlovsky says something that I really didn't think about. And ever since he said it, Carrie, I've lost sleep. because the implications are endless, right? So he says, yeah, because somebody brought up the point. As soon as you bring Kirk in, he's under center on third down, and you're running a play, and boom, right? You get the first down. And Orlovsky says, yeah, it's obvious that they run more pistol and shotgun because it hurts Penix's knees to be up under center. And I said, wait a minute. I said, it hurts Penix's knees. Now, this is right after the game, right? So Penix never went in. So when he made the statement, he had to be talking about prior to the injury. And if that's the case, if it's a situation where you're running 85 to 90% pistol because physically Penix can't bend down to snap the ball, or it's something with his knees, that is a different story. As a matter of fact, it suggests that there was a pre-existing injury. Now, I don't know that he meant to do that. I don't know that that's what he was saying, but Carrie, that's what I took from it, right? Now, walk with me, because if you go down that line, Carrie, that makes sense why 90% of the time you're in pistol. That makes sense why you don't do a lot of play action. That makes sense why you don't have Penix on a lot of rollouts, because his knee's already injured. It makes sense why you're not calling the same plays from last year that you did from this year. And it also is on brand for this administration because they're not necessarily forthcoming with injuries. You get what I'm saying? So what if it's not just a TV show for Marvel, ladies and gentlemen? What if Penix was hurt this entire time, right? What if he had because here's what I'm thinking happened. I'm thinking he actually tore his ACL when he went down, and it was already partially torn, and they knew it. Now, I can't prove that, and I can't say that's definitive. All of this is speculation. So I'm going to first say this is complete speculation and innuendo on my part. But with that being said, if you think at it along those lines, Carrie, it explains a lot. Give me your thoughts on that.
I mean, that could be the case. It is a lot of like speculation and,
It
conspiracy
is.
theories, but that definitely could be the case. I mean, I felt like Zach Robinson was trolling as soon as Kirk came in and he's under center the very first play. Like, are you joking? Um, I know Washington that, pistol is what Penix was used to. So my thing is, regardless, either way, if it's that Penix is just comfortable with pistol and doesn't want to go under center that much, he did run play action in college, so it's not like he can't run play action. And we're like one of the least amount of, like, we're one of the teams in the league that run the least amount of play action, which is crazy because I feel like that would be what would help your young quarterback, especially with a good running back, two good running backs, really. But my thing is, either way, I feel like that is just complete malpractice from the coaching staff. If it's that he's injured and you're putting him out there, you learn nothing from last season in regards to just continuing to trot Kirk Cousins out there injured.
No, you did not.
So that's
Right,
malpractice in that way. So yeah,
right.
fire everybody in that case because you are literally not learning anything. And like I said, I've been saying, what has Raheem improved from season one last year to season two? We're still having the same problems. So and that's gonna add to that, same sentiment. If it's not injury related and it's just that your quarterback says, well, I'm, more comfortable with the pistol. I don't want to go under center. I'm sorry, then you don't have good enough staff in that regard either because you should have a quarterback coach who should be getting him comfortable. If you plan to make this your franchise quarterback, of the future, You need to get him to be under center. You need to be able to run play action. I'm sorry, that's just inexcusable. I don't want to hear that excuse either, that that's just what he's comfortable with. You can't be predictable like that and expect to win. I'm sorry. So either the quarterback coach is incompetent or the OC or the head coach who's above both of them, because you should be developing your quarterback who you think is your future franchise guy. You've said he's the quarterback of our future. So to me, you have to get him comfortable. So if you're not able to do that, you're incompetent in that way either. So to me, it's not good from the staff either way, in my opinion.
Yeah, Carlos says, I don't believe that the media gonna spin it either way. They wanted Kirk to feature, and why they held on so long to him playing like crap. Watch Kirk decision making this weekend.
But if I'm being
Uh
honest with you, to Carlos' point, I truly think it isn't that he was injured. I think it's that maybe I think it's more the second one. Maybe that is not what Penix is more comfortable with or what he's used to, you know? So they just, and the coaching staff is, I'm not trying to keep calling them incompetent, but at the same time, we got a first year OC trying to lead a first time rookie quarterback, right? It's just, well, blind leading the blind, and then you got a QE coach who's inexperienced, supposed to be developing the quarterback. So my thing is like, I see it more so incompetence as far as developing the quarterback to do what he needs to do in the league, and
mhm.
also um Zach has been called out by the media, by the fans, by staff of his offense being so predictable and college level. I think he's more so just not ready to be a coordinator. So it's more so he's just incompetent in that regard. And I think the reason why you see more under center and all this from Kirk Cousins is because I think last year a lot of the success was because of Kirk being the veteran he is with the 10 plus years experience he has. He was probably, you know, calling the offense more last year, as well as you saw this year. As soon as he came in for that, was it Miami game? He was yelling at Zach Robinson on the sidelines. So I see it more so as far as incompetence, as far as the play calling for me.
That yeah, and you know what? That's the easier path. And look at I can't confirm anything. Island Mike says we also make rookie QBs look like Marino. They always light us up, and our defense has fallen off lately. He says we've gone backwards with Capri pants. So here's let me ask you this question, Carrie. If we're waiting on the second opinion, why go ahead and put him on IR? You know? Why go ahead and put him on IR? You already know his ACL is torn. You already know it. Why put him on IR? That's a minimum of 4 games. You could go on a run and win 10 games if you won 7 in a row. Why put him on IR now? It's because you already know that it's torn. And go back and look at the injury, Kerry. His knee wasn't hyperextended that much. Not to tear an ACL unless it's already torn. And I don't care what you say. I do not trust anything this administration says. I don't. I don't. They could tell me it was raining. I could look outside and see it's raining, and I still got to go out there to make sure. How many times have we heard, oh, he's not injured? Oh, wait, yes, he is. Oh, no. Oh, he's day to day. Oh, I mean, a broken collarbone? He's day to day? I don't trust anything they say. And it is
Right.
completely on brand for them to sweep something under the rug. So, I again, I look, I'm not saying it's gospel, but when you start to think about it, it explains a lot. Now, we don't want to think about that. We don't want to think about that because the lies with this administration, they just don't stop. They don't stop. They do not stop. Last year,
Right.
Kirk's hurt, nothing. Coos hurt, nothing. Cool's in the emotional bank. Oh, wait, no, we fired Koo the first game because he missed the kick. Wait, no, there's a kicking competition with a quarterback who has no chance of competing because he's not ready, but we're going to call it a kicking competition. But wait, now we're going to have a kicking competition. In
It's
wait,
you
no,
can't make it up. You
you
cannot
the
make it.
lies
It's
don't
like
stop. So it is perfectly on brand for Penix to already be hurt, and they say we can't have Penix out. We can't have it. We can't have him go out. So this is what we'll do. We'll craft an offense where he's just 95% out of the pistol, and he doesn't have to bend down. And that way there's a 0.30% unless somebody comes back on him and tackles him awkwardly that he stays upright and healthy.
and again, T Will, to that point, that's just pure negligence because you called
I
this guy your
agreed.
future, and not only should you be protecting your quarterback that you're calling the future with an injury history, you are playing with backup offensive linemen. Backup
Hmm.
offensive linemen. Bergeron's been missing games. You're with your third string right tackle, which I still think that's insanity when I look back at it. You sat here and found out that Kayla McGarry was going to be out for the season before the season even started. And then, I had some peace knowing, okay, well, Storm Norton's the next man up. And, he filled in pretty well for him last year. Oh, wait, by the way, guys, they tell us the same day, by the way, guys, he actually had surgery. So, yeah, he's not stepping in either. We're going to depend on the third string right tackle, who, by the way, is actually a guard, but he can play right tackle, but he's not that good at it. But that's the plan here. I think looking back on that, that's actually insanity. You have a new quarterback with an injury history, and you're going to depend on the third string right tackle with the blind side? You got to be kidding me.
And not only that,
That's
but you don't go out and get the pieces that you need. You clearly needed
They
another
said
receiver.
they were comfortable at the trade deadline
Right,
and didn't make a
right.
single move. I get that you don't
Exactly.
have that much money, but at least try to pick some people up off the street. At
Or
least
make
show
some
that you're
moves.
trying. Yeah,
Or
exactly.
or make
I
some moves.
mean, come
Move
on,
some money
man.
around. You gotta like, you know, I, obviously you can't do that every season, but in a season like this where it really feels like you have the talent to do something, I think you have a fiduciary responsibility to do it. I think you have to be committed to do it. And I didn't see that. This administration is like, no, guys, that's not a leak. That's not a leak either. They're fine. We're fine. We're fine. It's okay. Wait, that's not a leak either. Oh, let me wipe this water off. That's not water. Like, huh? And look it. I could be 100% wrong, but it is on brand for them. It is. Kirk was hurt for 5 games, and they knew it the first time. There's no way they didn't knew it. That
I'm so sorry,
they
T
didn't
Will.
know it.
I have breaking news.
Oh, what's the? It's torn.
It's terrible news.
Yeah, he's out for the season and it's torn, right?
So the update is Penix does in fact need surgery to repair his ACL.
Yep.
His recovery time is 9 months at least.
That's what I thought.
He got a second opinion from Dr. Neil something. I don't want to butcher his name.
Hmm.
Penix has an ACL sprain, but full reconstruction is needed.
No, he doesn't have it. If you got to do surgery, that's a tear. If you got to do surgery, that's a tear. That's just bottom line. But I mean, we knew that, right? We knew that. And 9 months is 9 months to somebody that's not had an ACL tear. That's more than likely going to be 11 to 12 months. So we won't see Penix until December of next year, which means now you got to go out and get a quarterback.
Which you are going to have to go out and get a quarterback anyway because I don't see Kirk Cousins being on this roster next year. There's absolutely no way. The only way financially it would happen is if he agreed to a restructure, which number one, why are you going to kick that his money down the line? And number two, why would he do us any favors? He is already mad at us as it is, right? I don't see him helping us at one bit.
That's a good point. Nathan Floyd says Ian Rappaport reported per league source that there was more damage in the knee more than the ACL. And that makes sense. It also makes sense that maybe a couple of weeks ago in San Francisco is when you got the partial tear, or at some point this year is when you got the partial tear. And that's why you ran this vanilla offense. And if that is the case, to your point, Kerry, that is 100% negligence.
Fire them
That
all,
is
honestly. I just
100% negligence. Now, they're not going to admit that, and we're never going to know that. I hope somebody asks them when they initially found out about it. They're not going to admit that because that'd be career suicide. But it just feels on brand for this administration to do that. It feels on brand. And for those of you who don't know, it just information just released. Penix is out for the rest of the season. He will require surgery, and he will be out a minimum of 9 months. It's probably more like 11 or 12. So we won't see Penix until December of 2026 or maybe September of 2027, which leads us into a whole nother ball of wax. Island Mike says, did you see it come out that McKay and Fontenot picked Morris for coach? They must both go, but Blank will never get rid of his friend Rich McKay. We are screwed. Carlos says Kirk was supposed to be still playing. That was yeah, he was supposed to be. He was supposed to be. Um, I mean, you know what? This is a situation that could have gone great. I think the plan was to play Kirk for 2 seasons and then release him in this upcoming off season and then have Penix take over. But of course, it didn't happen, and it looks like this is just the worst case of all scenarios. That of course Penix comes in, he gets hurt, probably got hurt earlier in the season, and now he just heading toward the ACL, and it looks like we lost on we came up snake eyes and we lost on both ends. Very very bad news, and
and honestly, there's no way Terry Fontenot survives this. I'm sorry.
yeah, I don't. Well, I
He's
don't. They're talking about potentially Rich McKay not surviving this.
Yeah, which is wild and good for Arthur Blank. Maybe he's sick and tired of being sick and tired because you got to start evaluating everyone around you. If you're in the second longest playoff drought in the whole league, right? Like,
Yeah,
and you're yet again another losing season 8 years in a row. Like, I'm sorry, you got to reevaluate everyone from the top
you
down.
do.
And unfortunately, Terry Fontenot put all his chips to the table. He doubled down on quarterback and he was criticized for it. And unfortunately, it backfired because now you have no quarterback. You went from two quarterbacks. Like, that is just, honestly, T Will, that is just terrible luck for us fans because how does that happen? You pay a veteran $100 million and you draft a quarterback 8th overall, and somehow less than what, a year later, you have no quarterback right now.
It's really
That's just
unfortunate
crazy stuff.
timing. It's an unfortunate set of events, man. Island Mike says if you speak out against the Falcons, you will be gone like Hilliard and Ray Ray. Such BS. Island Mike says, don't want Kirk back. He should not be on the team right now. Keith Simmons says,
Mm.
honestly, when the O line didn't hold up. John Brooks says, hey, T. Will and Carrie. What up, John? Island Mike is just not having a good day with these Falcons today. He says, Blank is a stooge. John Brooks says, we have to clean house. Carrie, is it fair to say that this Falcons team has been mismanaged?
100%. 100%.
Is it fair to say that this Falcons team has been mismanaged at the coaching level, or does it reach into the depths of the GM and or CEO? Like, where does it stop for you?
I mean, it starts, from the top down, honestly. It's from the top down.
Hmm.
It's, but my thing is, yeah, this coaching staff, the head coach, the OC, even the special teams coordinator, which goes under the radar. Special teams has been so bad this season.
They have. They really have.
And Raheem decided to retain him. So really, he got all three of his hires wrong as far as coordinators go, if you really think about it. Um, yeah, it's unfortunate, but I think it's time to clean house, really.
Island Mike says, let me tell you something. I had over 55 years of this garbage. No, I'm kidding. He says, I've had over 55 years of this garbage. Hey man, I hear you. I've been watching it for about 45 myself, Island Mike. I get it, man. I get it. I get it. You gotta if you're a Falcons fan, man, it's not for the weak. You gotta pace yourself, you know. You almost have to protect yourself as a Falcons fan, but that's another story for another day. On some of the positive news, it looks like the Divine Diablo may be back. Matthew Bergeron is hopeful to return soon. Carrie, is there a path forward? And I'm just asking here, is there a path forward where with Kirk Cousins and Bijan Robinson and Tyler Algier and Kyle Pitts and Darnell Mooney, our Falcons can raise themselves from the hell and abyss they're in right now, go on a 7-game winning streak, and lose the playoffs by 1 game? Give me your thoughts on that. Or are we done? Stick a fork in us, put us on the platter, get the barbecue sauce. It's over. Give me your thoughts. Is there a chance in Hades
No,
that we can do something this year? Or are we roadkill and it's
we're
over?
yeah. Honestly, looking back, they gave us false hope. Like, I mean, they gave us false hope after that Carolina game thing. I put this tweet out and it went viral, and I just was putting my thoughts out there. I said they said 30-0 was a wake up call and proceeded to go 2-5. So that's all you need to know. Uh, uh, there, we have a one less than 1% chance to make the playoffs right now. We have a backup quarterback, $100 million quarterback who should be able to be the best quarterback in the league, right? Backup quarterback in the league. That's what everybody said, but unfortunately, it's not even further from the truth. He
Mm.
could barely put up any points, and now you're going to be missing Drake London. I don't know. I'm just hoping we don't get embarrassed in New Orleans. I hope we somehow pull off a win because obviously I always want to win and I always want to beat the Saints, but we're missing Drake too. It's just our receiver room has been our receivers outside of Drake have been awful this year.
Yeah,
So
that's true. That is true. We got really, let me see. Iron Mike says we getting like the Browns as far as the QB carousel. Relly 1090 says, I don't think Raw is going anywhere, to be honest. He says, I don't like it, but I think that's what's going to happen. Keith Simmons says, rebuilding again, however, the defense looks promising. We got Mike ATL 82 saying, shout it. Island Mike says, the fork is deep. The fork is deep. John Brooks says, we are done. Get the barbecue sauce, stick a fork in us, and we are done. We are donezo. We are done Zilla, baby. Carlos says, man, it is what it is. What kid worked his whole life just to get here and get crushed and criticized by people who worried about rings? Island Mike says, I'm getting my paper bag ready. Mike ATL 82 says, we refuse to play Blair and Nash, who killed preseason. Why? And that's a good point, Carrie. Why are we not? Look, I would think at this point, what else do you have to lose, right? What else do you have to lose? At this point with Blair, it feels personal. Okay. There's
I
no way
agree
you can.
because he had a
Go ahead.
great preseason. Sorry, you're
No, you're
100%
fine.
right.
I mean, there's no way you can tell me Sills is a better receiver than Blair. You just can't. You know what I mean? And look, I'm not a coach. I'm not a wide receivers coach. I'm not an offensive coordinator. I do have eyes though, right? And I know that Blair scored in every game, right? So I don't get it. I don't understand. I do not understand. And the worst thing in the world, other than lying to a franchise, is playing political games. Like, for whatever reason, I don't like this guy. Oh, he's a walk on. Oh, he's a fifth, sixth, seventh round draft pick. He doesn't look, man, play the best guy. Okay. Because at this point, if you win seven in a row, maybe you save your season. I mean, obviously, Zach Robinson is gone, but you that's your only shot here. And I don't know why you wouldn't play. Honestly, both of them. What do you have to lose? What do you have to lose? Um, Nathan Floyd says, "Is Mooney healthy? He was listed as questionable." Well, Nathan, I know he's coming off of a collarbone injury, which is 2 months, and then he had the hamstring injury. I really think things are just lining up for him now. I don't know if he's fully healthy. I don't even know if he's fully into it. And look, he's there have been some misses between he and Penix, and you can see he's frustrated. And did Kirk throw to him when he got in, Carrie? Can you recall if Kirk actually threw to him or not?
That's a good question. I don't even
Yeah,
remember, to be honest.
yeah. Island Mike says, bring up Nash and Blair. Doesn't matter now.
Right, might as well
Craig
see
says,
what you have.
yeah, Craig says, start Easton Stick and bring up Blair and Nash, who had great chemistry with him. Okay. Island Mike says, we found our field goal kicker. Mike ATL 82 says he dropped it. My guy Craig. What up, Craig? Craig says it's time to clean house. I do appreciate the Falcons giving me the opportunity to go down at halftime during my first game to meet the players when they were coming in. Well, there you go, Carrie. A positive Falcon story. I love it. I love it. I love it. I love it. I love it.
That's awesome, Craig. I
Ladarius
hope you had
says,
a I hope you had a great time at your first game
Craig, you
despite the
deserve it,
loss.
man. Craig, you deserve a great time. You deserve. I hope you did, man. I hope it was epic and you balled out till you fell out, man. I really do. I hope it was epic. Ladarius says, good morning, Carrie, Chat, and Terry. Good morning, Ladarius. I mean, look it, man. I don't know what to say, you know? I mean, we are where we are. Let me ask you this question. Are you ready to just blow up the entire team? Rich McKay, Terry Fontenot, Raheem Morris included? Or is it
Which
just Rich McKay, Terry Fontenot, Raheem Morris, and let's see what somebody else can do with these players? Like, give me your thoughts on that. Where are you, Carrie, as far as the reset button is concerned?
Yeah, we need to rebuild, and honestly, we should have did that already, but instead they said we're not rebuilding, we're retooling. Um, this should have been a true rebuild, but instead they put all their chips on the table and double dipped at quarterback, which proved to be a mistake. And also traded away a first round pick. I'm not hating on James Pierce Jr., Xavier Watts. I'm so happy we got them, but you don't do that unless you are planning to win now. That's a move saying we're winning now. And they even came out and said we're doing this because we're not planning to pick that high. Well, as of now, T Will, that's looking like a fifth overall pick that we handed to, by the way, one of the best teams in the league, the LA Rams. Um, that's gonna be the whole chatter this off season.
It
The
is going to be the
Rams,
narrative.
yeah, the
It is.
whole off season.
It
And
is.
honestly, I don't blame them because you don't do stuff like that. Honestly, you
Well,
don't give a
I'm gonna
top
be
five
honest.
pick, a
I'm gonna
top
be
five.
honest. We
Um,
did get JPJ, right?
right, but he's
And
not a
we
top
have
five
eh,
pick.
how many sacks did JPJ have this year?
I think 2.5.
Okay. Has he not wreaked havoc? Has he?
He
I
has,
mean,
he
look,
has, but he's not a top. He's not a top five pick, and you just don't make that move if you're not planning to win now and planning to pick in the 20s to like 30.
I mean, they
You
missed.
don't do that.
I'll
Yeah,
give you that they missed, but we've
they
got a
missed.
pass rush carry for the first time in decades. So I don't. And again, I respect people's opinion, but again, we got two pass rushers. We needed pass rushers. The entire past 20 years. Have you seen the numbers, Carrie, of our pass rush prior to this year? They were putrid. We have what, 32, 33 sacks? We had 31 last year. We have more now. We have 7 games left. We
We
have more
currently have,
sacks now. Go
yeah,
ahead.
we're currently second in the league in sacks. Um,
So I look it. I get it. You don't have a top 5 pick, but you can't have your cake and eat it too. We got because we're gonna keep JPJ and Jalen Walker for the next 4 years. So I mean, yeah, it cost us a top 5 pick. That's fine, but we at least know we got some pass rushers, and they're only gonna get better, right? So I'm not, and I get it, and I understand it's gonna be the narrative, but I'm not. I'm
yeah,
not me
it still should be
personally.
that. Yeah, I know it fixes an issue that we've had for many years, so I'm not too mad at it. But at the same time, like, that's just negligence. Um, you put your chips on the table that you're giving up a top 5 pick, a first round pick because you came out and said because we're not planning to pick that high because you don't do that unless you aren't picking that high. So that's just something you don't do unless you're a playoff caliber team, and clearly we are not that. So I mean, like I said, they've been putting their chips on the table and backfired with the quarterback situation and now with the first round pick. But it is what it is. It's going to be to their demise because there's just absolutely no way that they can be here next year. I just don't see it. I don't
Okay.
see how you can survive this failure of a season.
Hey man, that's fair. That is fair. Craig says with the news of Penix earlier having surgery, might as well start a rebuild. I hate to say it, but Drake and Bates could be two big pieces to trade to gather a bunch of draft picks. I'm not trading Drake. Um,
Drake,
Jesse,
no. Jesse
Jesse's probably
Bates,
not going to be
yes.
here. Yeah, I
Jesse
I
Bates,
can
you can
understand that.
yeah, Jesse Bates, you could definitely trade,
Yeah.
and get maybe a second round pick at best for him. And you only have 5 picks this draft, so they're gonna need as many picks as possible. So I could definitely see trading Jesse this coming up year because he's only here for one more year,
Hmm.
and he's not gonna resign. So Jesse's definitely on the table as far as being traded. But in my opinion, somebody like Drake and Bijan, they're untouchable. They're part of the rebuild.
Yeah, I mean, I agree. I agree. I agree with that 100%. Really 90 says, I have no problem with the double dipping in the first last year. And me neither. I think it was the right move. I think you're not going to get something for nothing. And, I just feel like, look, it was the move and it worked out. It worked out because we have two pass rushers. But it is what it is. I can see both sides. I'm not going to, it is what it is. Craig says, I'd rather dance in the devil in the pale moonlight. What was that? That was from Batman. You ever dance with the devil in the pale moonlight? That is my Jack Nicholson impression. You ever dance with the devil in the pale moonlight? He's not happy. He's using brand X, new Joker brand. Wait till they get a load of me. That was in 1988, Carrie, a little bit before your time. So I understand if you don't get my resoundingly great Jack Nicholson impression. It's okay though. It's okay. No, seriously. Craig says, I'd rather dance with the devil than have Raheem as my coach. Damn. Okay. I don't think I'd rather do either. Mike ATL82 says, I'm keeping Terry and Ulbrich. Island Mike says, remember Blank said him and McKay are great at picking head coaches. We are screwed if nothing changes. Oh, wait a minute. We got Mr. Jack Spade in the building, Carrie. Are you believing this? Am I seeing this right?
Where? No.
What? Jack says,
Oh, here
should
we
we
go.
focus on 2026 or 2027? Jack says, love y'all. Rise up. Mike 82.
Wait, are you gonna answer his question?
I don't. To be honest with you, I'm gonna say 2026. Look at who's to
Yeah,
say
me
that
too.
with competent coaching, as you say, Carrie, that we can't make
Right.
lemons out of lemonade? Who's to say that? You know,
To that
I
point,
mean,
T Will, like,
uh-huh.
um, yes, this is terrible news, but we kind of already were prepared for it, when we got the initial news that he was going on
Yep,
IR. For
yep.
me, it's actually better news than I initially thought because there was a chance that it was going to be fully torn. If it's
Hmm.
fully torn, you can expect him to be out a year or longer, right? Till he's back ready to go. But they've reported that it's a partial tear.
Hmm.
So if it's a partial tear, he could be back throwing in about 6 months. Maybe March, April. Is that 6 months from November? If he gets surgery this week, next week, and he could be back if all goes as planned in 9 months.
I don't
So
see that. I do not see that. I don't see
why do
that
you
at all.
say that? It's partially torn. It's not fully
I
torn.
I mean, it's still got to be repaired, right? Whether it's
Right. So if
partially
he gets
or not,
surgery this week, right?
right? I get it, but he's had two ACL surgeries.
On the
So
other
you
leg, yeah.
right, but you can't rush him back. Same thing with Acuna, right? What the
But it
Braves
wouldn't I know, but that wouldn't be rushing him back. It's a partial tear. That's the
I don't
timeline. That's
I
the
don't think
normal timeline.
I
Well, you don't believe it, that's fine, but Ian Rappaport says the timeline for the surgery puts him right up at the start of the 2026
he said
season.
at least 9 months, did he not?
He said, this is his exact quote. The
Okay.
timeline for Michael Penix's ACL surgery puts him right up against the start of the 2026 season. 9 months from now is mid-August. At the least, Atlanta will have to secure a backup plan in case all does not go as anticipated. And that's where I was going with this. If all goes as planned, which mind you, he's been through this before, he knows this
Mhm.
is not his first rodeo in regards to tearing an ACL. He's done it twice with the right. This is the first time with the left. So this is not his first time going through this. So I think
Mhm.
that could work to his advantage
Mhm.
um, because this was his healthy knee. So it's not like it could be worse as far as like he's re-aggravating the same injury that he's had before. This is a different knee, but I think it also could be to his advantage that he's been through this before in regards to maybe mental struggles or, maybe he already knows what works for him as far as recovery goes because he has been through this before twice in college, I believe the last time in 2020, so about
Mhm.
5 years ago. So the the timeline, though, for a partial tear is 9 months, so that would put him at the start of the season if all goes as planned, if all goes well, if there's no setbacks.
I don't.
Um,
I believe it when I see it. I don't believe. I think Penix is out until at least December. I do not believe that. If for nothing else, this is your franchise quarterback, and you better exercise caution. If for nothing else, you better not rush him back because if he injures it again, that's pretty much it, right? Because now you're looking into 2027, 2028, and you've drafted him and got nothing. I think they're going to treat him with kid gloves, and he could be back in 9 months. I'm not saying it's definite. Carrie, I don't buy it. I don't buy it. I don't even think it's partially torn. I don't. Let me tell you something. I don't trust anything. And I love my Atlanta Falcons. I love, 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 love my Atlanta Falcons. Let me be clear about that. I bleed red and black from day one. I love my Atlanta Falcons, but I don't trust anything this administration says or anything they put out. I just don't trust them. So partial from what they say could be torn because the other I don't know who the somebody in this chat says it was more than an ACL, that it had been
yeah, and I
reported that it
can't
was
find that
more.
report,
I
so
can't I
I would
can't
love
find
for
it
them
either.
to share
I
that. I don't see
I
that.
can't I can't find it either, but I don't trust them, Carrie. I don't. I do not. So yeah, either way, we'll
That's
see.
fair. I'm just going based off of what's being told, so at
I get
face
it.
value. I get that you don't
I
trust what
get
they're
it.
saying, but I'm going based off of what they're actually saying. So, and
I
that's
get
really
it.
all we can go based off of.
Well, I don't know. I kind of like to do my own deductions, but that's me. You know how I am, Carrie. I'm a conspiracy theorist. Ladarius says, I have no issue with trading the first round pick because the roster is a playoff one In my opinion, the issue is the coaching. However, you got to clean house and seek some picks via trades. Fair enough, Ladarius. Craig says we are going to have to overpay for Drake to stay because he hasn't won since he's been here. I think that's fair. What do you think about that, Kerry? You think we're gonna have to overpay for Drake?
Oh yeah, 100%, hundred
Hmm.
percent. Same thing with Bijan. They haven't seen a winning
Yeah,
season since they've been here, and they both want to win. So
yeah, yeah. I think so. T. Terry says Falcons should draft Gunner from the Georgia Bulldogs. Craig says no on Gunner. You know what? I'm gonna remain silent. Island Mike says, don't forget new coaches. Penix has to learn a new offense. That will take time too. MPJ will not be the same, Carrie. Sorry, Queen.
I mean,
Uh
respectfully, you don't know that.
ha!
He tore his no, but in all seriousness, he tore the same ACL in his right knee
Uh-huh.
twice, and then went on to be the Heisman runner-up as well as lead his team in
That
Washington
is
to a
true.
national championship. He didn't
That
tear
is
his
true.
ACL at Washington.
That is true.
So, respectfully, we don't know either way. Like, you could be right, but you could also be wrong. We don't know that.
That's true. That's fair. We don't. We don't know the future. That is fair. I tell you what, Kerry, we know that we have to go into New Orleans and play in these Saints, and I know that you have to get ready to go here. Give me your prediction for this week as we go. Ladarius says 21 carries showing up. Kerry, give me your prediction for this week.
I mean, like I said, it's hate week. I haven't even been able to focus on hate week, to be honest.
Yeah.
Because of the circumstances with Drake's injury, who could be out longer than just this week, and obviously with Penix's season-ending injury.
Yep.
Um, so it's unfortunate, but I always want my team to win. I know the negative Nancy's who like want your team to tank, they can't even hope for that because we don't have a first round pick to tank for. So
Right.
at this point, playoffs are gone. All I can hope
Playoff.
for is all I can hope for is that we don't get embarrassed. We somehow pull off a win in New Orleans with Kirk Cousins at, quarterback with not much receiver help. Hopefully Bijan can somehow steal the show and get us a win. I'm hoping, but I don't know. I always want to win. I always hope my team can win. So that's what I'm hoping for. I'm hoping we don't get embarrassed, and I hope we don't lose because again, if we lose, we're going to be last in the division. So that's embarrassing. At one point, we thought we were going to win this division, and now that we could possibly be in last place after Sunday. So
I mean, would you have ever thought that our season would end up here, Carrie, at the beginning of the season? Like in your wildest mind, would you have ever even conceived that we'd be here?
no, this season has been utter just disappointment to say the least. Even with these injuries, I mean that was just a nail in the coffin, right? But even before the injuries is like how disappointing this season has become as far as 3-7 and missing the playoffs and being third in the division right now, being 0-3 in the division. So yeah, this season, I'm sorry, you got to clean house.
Yeah, I get it, man. I get it. Who is it? Craig says no. John Brooks says, "Can we get Happy Gilmore to play QB?" Hey, man, I'm down with it. I love me some Happy Gilmore, man. We need somebody with his velocity. I'm down for him, or Bobby Boucher. We could get Bobby Boucher to play QB. I don't know. I don't know. I'm gonna say Falcons just because I am from the same lineage as Eric Parker. And Kerry, we don't show up to lose, even in the face of common sense. I'm gonna pick the Falcons to beat New Orleans 26-19. You heard it here first, ladies and gentlemen. Falcons go into New Orleans, figure out a path forward. You know what would be the most Falcon thing ever, Kerry?
What's
Would be
that?
for us to win 7 games in a row and lose out
Stop.
in the playoffs by.
Stop it. You're not.
When we get off the camera, Carrie's gonna beat me up.
Stop it. I cannot. There's just there's no way. And if truly if that happens, I you might need to check me into a mental facility because what do you mean we're going on a 7-game winning streak?
Oh
After
man. Ah,
that, I mean that would be our luck though. To your point, and that
it
would drive
could
me
be. It'd
crazy.
be the most
That
Falcon
would,
thing ever,
yeah,
Carrie.
it would drive me
It
crazy.
would be the most Falcon thing ever, man. Hey, Carrie, I'm just trying to make you smile, my
I
friend.
appreciate you.
You
No,
know what I
seriously,
mean?
it's
I
rough
got
out here, man. It's tough right
I
now.
know. I know. But you know I got love for you, man. You're my family. I'm just trying to make you smile. I know
Let's hit
it's
up
rough,
Mohamed
Carrie.
Sanu. He said he could play quarterback for us.
Well, shit, at least let him come out and he could coach for us. I know what coach position I'd put him at. I know where I'd hire him to coach, but what do I know? That's just me. Well, hey man, Carrie, I know you got to run. Tell these folks where they can find you.
You can find me on Terry and Carrie Show once a week. You can find me on Twitter at Carrie Lynn XOX. And yeah. Wait, is that true, Ladarius?
Probably
He said we signed Kyle Trask to the
to
practice
his
squad.
practice
Oh
spot.
wow.
We probably did. I mean, because
Oh wow. I didn't see
Penix
that.
ain't coming back
Okay.
this
Oh
year,
yep,
so
we
that
did.
that
Wow.
that that makes sense. That makes sense. Well,
Yeah,
guys in
because
the
then Easton
chat,
Stick will be the backup. Okay, that makes sense.
yeah,
Yep.
yeah, guys in the
Wow.
chat. Carrie, Miss Carrie is the greatest producer ever, and she keeps us going. And I so appreciate her. And I'm sorry you're sad today, Carrie, but you
I
know
am
what?
sad, like I just
We'll get through it.
where
We'll
I
get through it.
know it's just unfortunate. Obviously, the season's been a disappointment, and
Yeah,
obviously the playoffs were gone. But at
yeah,
least we had to look forward to possibly Penix being the franchise guy and watching his development for the rest of the season. Because despite playing with a banged up offensive line, and
yeah,
despite playing with a coordinator who's just, I mean, as many people say, incompetent and won't be here next year, is like
yeah.
I feel like he showed flashes and promise, and he was playing very well that first half against Carolina. And it sucks, honestly, because now you don't even have that to look forward to his growth and development to see if he is that future guy. Now you're uncertain if you even have a quarterback, and it really sucks, honestly, because it's about to be full rebuild mode.
Carrie, tell me if I'm seeing this right, because I think Ladarius just gave me a compliment. Oh my God! Oh my God! Oh my God! Ladarius says Carrie is the best. Terry has a decent Jack Nicholson impression. What? Oh my God! I cannot believe it.
Thank you,
I
Ladarius. I
cannot believe
appreciate
it.
that.
I cannot believe it. I- Well, of course you're the best, Carrie. But he said, did you hear him, Carrie? He said I had
Oh
a
yeah,
decent
that
Jack
too.
Nicholson impression. Oh my God! All right, guys. Well, hey, to
All right.
everyone who joined us
Thank
in
you,
the chat,
guys.
we got to thank you guys. We appreciate you guys. Thank you for supporting us. Hey, man, we love talking Falcons with y'all, and we love y'all. Miss Carrie, I understand if you got to drop, I'll probably hang out here for a few minutes. Enjoy yourself, and hopefully, I will
Thank you
see you
so much.
Sunday, and we'll be talking about a victory.
All right. Thank you. Have a good day, everyone.
You too. Thanks, Carrie. Craig says it's because T Will's sugar isn't high. Oh boy. T Terry says Carrie MPJ is not the future baby girl. I mean, I don't know. I'm not gonna go that far. I'm not gonna go that far. Um, yeah. So guys, I did want to say something. And that is this. I Sunday had to be Sunday evening. I was going downstairs, and watched the Falcons game. Obviously, I was disappointed, like we all were. And I go downstairs and I got my Falcons jersey on. And my nephew, one of my nephews, we're big family people here, so we have nieces and nephews over all the time. But one of my nephews was like, hey, why are you wearing that shirt? Right? Like, did you see the game? Like, do you see what's going on? Why are you wearing that shirt? And I thought about it and I said to him, I said, well, nephew, I call him nephew. I said, well, nephew, um, and this is the nephew that lives with me. This is another one that comes over. Like I said, I rock with my nieces and I rock with my kids, my nieces and nephews. It's just how we do it in the Wilson household. But I said to him, I said, hey man, I don't support this team because they win. Right? I'd have been out a long time ago. I said, I support this team because this was my father's team. And in my father's house, he would say, hey, we're going to support the Falcons because they represent our community, because they represent where we live, because you live in this community and we're going to support all of our Atlanta teams. So we supported the Hawks and the Falcons and the Braves and the Bulldogs and any other team that was Atlanta. And that was just how I grew up. And so because they're losing, is irrelevant. Now, I'm not saying that I got to give my Falcons my peace. No, I'm not saying that I got to watch them and be so upset that I can't go to work the next day. No, you obviously have to keep things in perspective. What I'm saying is from now until they lay me down, I will be a Falcons fan because that's my father's team, because that's a long-standing tradition that we've had. Because win or lose, I am with them. I'm not one of these fans that, you know what, this year I like the Eagles because they won the Super Bowl, and next year I like the Chiefs because they won the Super Bowl, and I like this team and that team. Because what you're really saying is you don't have a team, right? Or I support this team because they win. Well, I got news for you. Wins are cyclical, right? Administrations rise and fall. Everybody that's a winner today is not going to be a perennial winner forever. There are ebbs and flows, there are highs and lows, there are peaks and valleys. And at the end of the day, only one team is going to hoist the Lombardi trophy, right? Has this been a disappointing season? Yes. Should we be disappointed? Yes. But to you real Falcons fans out there, and I know Carrie is a real Falcons fan because she wears it. The thing I love about her is she is so passionate about this Falcons team. I've never met, she reminds me a lot of my middle brother, Eric, and his love for the Falcons. Like it is all encompassing. It is flammable, right? Um, and I get it, right? And I was that way at one time, but you get older, you learn to manage it. You have a few disappointments, a few heartbreaks. 28-3, you learn to manage it. But the bottom line is, guys, I don't support this team because they win. I support this team because they're my team. Because they're my team. And I'm going to support them until I die. As a matter of fact, when I die, I want the Falcons to be my pallbearer so they can let me down one last time. Just kidding. That's a joke. That's a joke in the A that we tell about the Falcons all the time. No, in all seriousness, I support this team. And I'm with them win, lose, or draw. I'm with them when they're high. I'm with them when they're low. I'm with them when it's great. I'm with them when they suck. I'm with them. Because you know what? You know what? If that magical, majestical moment ever comes when they win a Super Bowl, when the clock strikes zero and there's confetti everywhere, and dagnammit, there are Falcons on the field everywhere, I'm going to call up my brother and I'm going to say with tears in my eyes, little brother, we did it. I'm going to call my other little brother and I'm going to say with tears in my eyes, we did it. I'm going to go over to my brother's house with my mom's ashes, and my brother has my dad's ashes, and we're going to have drinks with our parents. And we're going to cry and laugh and rejoice, and it's going to be great. And Eric and I are probably going to go on a week-long Let's Get Drunk tour, and it is going to be magnificent because it won't be about we just supported this team and they won a Super Bowl. It'll be about, God dang it, I've been watching these Falcons for 45, 46, 48, however many years, and they did it. And there's nothing in the world that anybody can do to take it away. And on that day, ladies and gentlemen, on that day, 28-3 won't matter. On that day, The mediocrity that we experience won't matter. On that day, 2012 NFC Championship won't matter. On that day, losing to the 80 Cowboys with damn Drew Pearson making that catch won't matter. What I'm saying, folks, is I'm in this thing for the long haul. And I understand everybody's not going to make it. You know, there are going to be some people that say, hey, I can't do this Falcons thing. And there's no judgment. I get it. You got to do what you got to do. You got to follow your own belief system. But as for me, the Falcons have been my team from day one. And I will die with them being my team. Whether they ever win a Super Bowl or not, whether they ever have a winning season or not, I am ATL till I die. And it's just like that for me. So yes, this season sucks. Yes, it's awful. Yes, we were lied to probably. Yes, this is terrible. This is terrible. But we've been through it before, Falcons fans, and we've survived and thrived and moved forward. And we will survive this. And we will move forward. Guys, I love my Falcons. And by association, I love y'all, man. I love getting on this chat and talking Falcons with y'all. This has been some of the best times of my life. And we're going to get through it. I hope I wasn't too long-winded. I just felt the need to say it. Hey, man, if you dig it, you dig it. If you don't, you don't. I totally understand. But, hey, man, it is Falcons. On this channel, we support our Falcons. On this channel, we love our Falcons. On this channel, we are loyal to our Falcons. Because that's what it is. And it ain't anything else. Thank you to everybody who joined in the chat. I so appreciate you guys. I appreciate you guys joining me every week. It is a fellowship. It is a family. It is. Thank you guys. I want to thank God for sending you guys in my path. Miss Carrie, I support you. I appreciate you. You're my family. I thank God for you, Jack Spade. You're my family. I thank God for you, Bodie. You're my family. I thank God for you. Let me tell you something, man. Big Low Country. You're my family, man. You're my brother from another. I support you. Chris A1, you're my family, man. You're my brother from another. I support you. Uncle Steve, man, I appreciate you guys. I could go on and on, but the bottom line is, hey, man, I thank y'all for showing up every time I do a show. I love talking Falcons with y'all, and we're going to get through this, whether we go to New Orleans and get our teeth kicked in or whether we kick down the door like a banshee, kick the dog, kiss the wife, snatch the dinner on the way out. I'm going to be right here next week talking about these Falcons. Lord, thank you for these wonderful fans. Lord, thank you for waking me up today. Lord, thank you for Brother Jack Spade and my brother Eric Parker for giving my start in this business. Hey, man, I hope y'all have an amazing week. Rise up, y'all. Let me tell you something. Look it, man. I've been an Atlanta fan for 45 years.
Turning up the heat, T-Will on the mic, can't accept defeat. My ATL sports show, he's running the game. Atlanta Falcons fly high, you know the name. In the heart of the A, where the pride runs deep. From the Braves to the Falcons, he's keeping it real, no sleep. He's got the scoop, every player, every play. Bringing the thunder every single day. T-Will, T-Will.